Seriously with Martin Bester.
Welcome to the show on a Tuesday morning. Our very special guest in studio, Dricus du Plessis. Baie dankie dat jy weer eens kon kuier. So lekker om jou te sien, man. Jammer oor jou phone met die segways. I don't know if you listened last week, but he went on Dricus' segways. Those things are very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing all the time. And to slaan jy neer and that's a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, so what happened was, it's the funniest thing is when Dricus got them, the first time he bought those segways, he sent me a video of him trying to get onto the segway.
And he fell as well.
So he couldn't even get on it because it works like a hoverboard.
Yeah.
And I laughed at him the whole time I saw the videos of him trying to get up. And then he finally got it, and I saw the video of him going, and after a while he got pretty confident and he went, and then the next moment he sends me a photo, like his head. His head, his legs, everything, and I just laughed and I said, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "No, because you lean forward on those things, and you lean back if you want to brake. But they have this safety feature, and he took his off because otherwise it breaks you by itself." And he just kept on lying forward, and it didn't stop itself. So he just basically fell forward, and I said, "How do you do that? Are you insane? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard." So I get on it. And me and Fasti, we go, cool, let's go. I mean, it's York was by. There's nobody there. There's 2 Ks to the nearest shop. We go there. Oh, we get it. I was doing donuts. Oh, Mr. Confident. I tell Dricus, don't you worry. I'm a professional athlete.
You are. Champion.
I am not going to have trouble with this. And I grew up on bikes, so I'm going to be cool. So we drive there, have a nice something to eat, breakfast, drive back. As we drive back, I said, let's see how fast this thing can go.
Oh, dat gaat awesome.
You want to go? And she said, yeah, let's dice. And as we started, as I get to full speed, I also took off the safety device because otherwise it's going to break.
Yes, athlete.
And I'm a professional athlete. And as we started going, this thing was really going. And I said, this thing's pretty fast. And next moment I realized, I am no Michael Jackson. I ain't getting back from this. My angle was there, and I realized this is it. And I just try to run, but I can't run that fast. Not with flip-flops on, anyways. And I just started sliding on the tar, and I went like, ah! I looked at Fasti, and she saw me, and she just screamed and kind of just jumped off hers as well, and it just fell right next to me.
Let them go.
Wow.
And there was fans who took a photo with us literally as we left, and they were driving behind us. And it was just these bushes, and they said they looked at us, and they said, "Oh, look at them go!" And next moment they just saw the segways without us on it, because the segways just went on going.
I swear Dricus was just on that thing. And that's where your phone broke.
Yeah, our phone was completely broken. Can you believe it? Brand new iPhone, boom, gone.
Here's a new one. From our friend next door at Vodacom.
Oh wow! Thank you so much.
I was wondering what flavor phone you had, but I think it's the same one inside. Just have a look there.
Let's have a look.
That's
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, God, thank you so much. That's amazing.
You're most welcome. Thanks, Michelle. Okay, so a lot of people obviously need to know.
Awesome.
You're most welcome. Want to know quite a couple of important questions, and I think the first one here is definitely about the big one. Okay.
Wat dink jy sou die outcome wees met 'n rematch met jou en Sean Strickland? Dink jy dit gaan weer 5 rondes wees of gaan op beslis 'n TKO wees?
Can we just backtrack a little bit? Is there a chance of a rematch?
I don't think so. No. I wouldn't mind. I mean, if that's what the UFC. I always say, as a champion, you want to give the people the fight they want to see.
Yeah.
That's, for me, that's the important thing. I want to be champion of the world, so I don't want to pick any fights because this is going to be an easier fight.
Sure.
If you want to be the best in the world, you have to fight whoever is, who's the next toughest guy in the division. So if the UFC decides they want to do Strickland 2, I'm completely happy with that. If the fans say, no, that's the fight they want, let's do it. I honestly think the second fight will be a lot easier than the first one.
Who do you think is the toughest? Who would you like to fight?
I would like to fight Israel Adesanya next.
Adesanya.
I think, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what South
And
Africans also wanna say.
preferably on home soil.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In this side of our beautiful southern Africa.
Can I ask, why is he off for a whole year? Because isn't that a really long time?
I don't think he's going to be off for a whole year. He needed to take some time away from the sport because he was quite active and he was fighting at the highest level for a long time.
Okay.
So he's not going to be off for a year. I think that's probably going to be the next fight.
Are you serious? When, more or less, do we know?
I have no idea. I mean,
But you
for me
wanted to-
right now, we are still busy with some scans and
Okay.
seeing what we can do in terms of after the fight, some injuries. Can we fight soon? Is that a possibility? And all that. So that'll be great. That'll be great. But we have to make sure that the longevity of my career is also taken into consideration. We've had a very active last year and a half.
no rush.
To and that's what I said. We rushed to get to this belt. We had to take every opportunity given to us. Right now, we need to be smart and defend this belt and when it suits us.
Sure, no, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually my question. UFC 300 is not too far away. Is it better to actually sit this out, recover fully, champ, and get ready to take them on after?
Yeah, 100%. I think UFC 300 obviously going to be a milestone event. I think it's going to be great. Every time you have the UFC 100, UFC 200, and now 300, all are massive events in the
It's
UFC.
huge.
Always, the pay-per-views are insane. It's a massive hype, and I would love to be part of that, but not if it's going to mean that I'm not going to be fully recovered or I'm going to defending my title is much more important to me than being on this milestone event. And then of course the real milestone event will be UFC in Africa and more importantly South Africa.
South Africa.
I can't even explain to you how long I'll be willing to wait to make that happen and defend my belt on home soil. I think, and that's history. That's I mean UFC 300 is just a number. It's not as massive as UFC Africa.
No,
ways.
I'm with you. We already got quotes and stuff to close Loftus.
Go with like a bit of intent.
Like daar's mense wat 'n tent kan, just so you know.
That's what we need to hear.
Exactly. That's what Dana White needs to. I was very disappointed that Dana White questioned the outcome of your fight. I thought that's counterproductive.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Did you speak to him about that?
I haven't spoken to him directly about it. I spoke to Hunter, but it was very split in terms of the people watching the fight. I think out of the media houses, 5 or 7 of them said Strickland won, and 18 of them said that I won that fight.
Yeah.
I went to go watch the fight. I've watched it once or twice afterwards, and there's no doubt that I won that fight to me at all. The fact that Dana said, I think if he goes to go and watch it back, it will be different. It's very different if you watch it live and then you go and watch it back. And
I
you can
agree.
really, I think when you emotionally invested live and you know everything is happening so fast, it's almost you can't recollect what happened in earlier rounds.
Did it surprise you a little bit when when Sean cried a bit about it afterwards? Oh, I was right, whatever you said. I was like, ugh. But then again,
That was actually. I never thought of him to be someone like that because he said the belt doesn't really mean anything to him. He doesn't care. And then he said something about a headbutt. I can guarantee you there was no headbutt.
I watched it so many times, back and
I
forth.
watched it
There
all
was
the
no
time.
headbutt.
I can remember clearly in the fight because obviously he jabbed me quite a few times in that first 2 rounds, and we knew that was going to come. Obviously, we didn't plan on him hitting me so much, but when you with those small gloves, if you get hit on the eye, you're going to swell up.
Yes.
So I just realized halfway through the first round, my eye is already swelling. This is not good. I need to get out of the way. I can't just block these punches with my head because they weren't super hard. They were just accumulate.
Yeah, and he was obviously trying to blind you or make sure
and
that
then
you.
I started seeing the top of my eye, and I realized this is too soon in the fight to be not seeing out of your one eye.
Yeah.
And I caught him with that punch. I saw that punch. As I threw that punch, I hit him, and I thought that was a hard one. And I just saw the blood starting from his eye.
Thank you, my friend. It wasn't his head, it was his fist.
100%.
Okay.
It was his head
let's
against
help
my
you.
fist.
It was ja, that's what it is. Hy's nie 'n baie hoffelike knaap nie. He
Hoffelike knap.
he's not a very in English he's not the most polite chap.
No,
This is Sean
at
Strickland.
all.
He says some really hateful things, and for that reason, I really wanted you to put him on his ass. But that is why I'm saying there should be a rematch, just because in his mind he's not sure. I think he needs to be sure.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I said. I also Dana they said immediately no, we're not doing a rematch. I said, well, I mean that's up to you guys. I don't care if we do a rematch. Great,
Doesn't matter.
The hardest part of fighting anybody is not knowing how hard they hit, how strong they are, how fast it is, how awkward they are. Now I know.
No weet jy.
But now he knows too.
Right, next question.
My vraag vir die kampioen is dan het hy nou Seantjie darm 'n biertjie na die tyd gehad?
Good question. I usually get along quite well with the people that I fight. There's a lot of cases where people don't like each other. I mean, like in life, you don't like everybody you meet. Sure. Mostly, I have a lot of respect for anybody I've shared the occasion. I have a lot of respect for Sean Strickland as well. And that was it was so weird to me that he said, I won that fight. Because directly before they announced it, he came to me and he said, he said, well done, you beat me.
Hold on. Before they announced
the fight, he said, you won that fight, well done. He said it to me.
This is so weird.
He said it to me. He also knew in his heart that he lost that fight.
Yes.
So, but
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 100%. Before we shook hands and I said, great fight, man, that was awesome. And he said, yeah, you definitely beat my ass. You won that fight. And
so what is he crying about?
The only thing I could say was, I have to agree with you.
That is correct.
Yeah, yes it has.
Yeah, correct. And that's why it was so weird to me. But you also have to understand, from a business point of view and for his career, of course he's going to cry.
Of course.
No, rematch. Because for him, that's another opportunity at world title.
Another question quickly.
Morning breakfast team. Can you please ask Dricus du Plessis, what does he do for pain management? So after a fight, what is the first thing he does so that he doesn't sleep with so much pain?
Beer. Yeah,
what most
beer.
South African men do.
Yeah, for beer. So for 8 weeks, I don't touch a beer before in preparation for a fight. So that's 2 months. So that's the one craving you have. Just a cold beer. That's it. But I mean, in terms of pain management, I don't like pain medication at all. Or sleeping medication. I stay away from it completely.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, if you go... I was in a lot of pain after this fight. Actually, there was a lot of pain, like my legs, and there was a lot of pain. But with a happy heart, you can withstand a lot little pain. So, I felt the pain, but I was lying there in my bed with my belt next to me.
Sure. So just a little observation and a suggestion. So maybe you must change your name from Dricus du Plessis to Dricus Nulpermouth du Plessis. I've got a bit of a bone to pick with you. I do have a little bit of...
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Are
you sure?
There's a big table here.
This is...
It's not an octagon.
Got a bit of beef with Dricus about one thing that I saw that we have to chat about quite seriously and sternly just after this.
Breakfast with Martin Bester, driving you to work every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m.